Hi everyone, many greetings from the Studio Dumber at Rotterdam. I am here because Demo Festival is happening on Thursday. I'm super excited. We are working very hard since quite a long time on this, and this is going to happen. I'm super excited for that. I'm here because I've been preparing my talk today with Sander Sturing, a good friend. He will talk about the creative coding methodologies that he uses here at Studio Dumber. And that's cool. We are both talking about creative coding, and I want to give you my talk today. So this is the talk I'm going to give on Thursday at the Demo Festival. So if you're watching this in the future, this has been happening in the past. Anyway, let's get started. So I will introduce myself now. I'm Tim. Hi, I'm super honored to be part of this amazing festival. I'm very happy to be able to learn to know all these amazing people. I'm Tim, and I am a creative coder who teaches graphic designers to code. So I teach creative coding in the realms of graphic design, which is very exciting. Here's a quick video about me, and let's watch it.
Hey, my name is Tim, and I build a community and an online learning platform for creative coding. We have this incredible gap between creativity and technology. There's an elusive need for people working in this intersection, not just in the economy. Depicting and questioning the digital is an especially important and exciting field in the arts. I help young people becoming creative technologists, those who are often traumatized through uninspiring and misleading courses for programming. Breaking this barrier reveals a world of unexplored territories.
Okay, this is the video. You know what? I think I will do the video. I will show the video right in the very first spot, and then I will introduce myself. I think that's a little bit better. So then I will say, hi, I'm Tim. I'm a creative coder. I teach teach graphic designers to code. And I do that through building an own e-learning platform, an own, platform for a knowledge base for people who want to learn creative coding in the realms of graphic design and art. And this is an exciting journey. I'm doing this since quite a few years, and it's going very well. It's my baby, and I love doing that. I'm very thankful for being able to do this. So rodenbröker.de is an online school, a knowledge base, a learning platform, a community, a design studio, maybe soon, I don't know. I'm now doing a few projects with some of my patrons, which is amazing. It's a content hub and much more, probably. And my mission is to onboard young creators for creative coding, to help them to demystify technology. I want to go too deep into that philosophical statement, but this is something I find very important and very exciting. So I have about 500 students from all over the world. They are members of the community through Patreon, which is amazing. So I give them weekly updates about the progress of building the platform. It's kind of a crowdsourcing thing, and it works very well. I love it. Check it out, timrodenbröker.de. The talk I will give is titled the new Demoscene. And before I would dive into the new version of the Demoscene, I would like to give you a little introduction about what the Demoscene actually is. So let's do a little time travel to the year 1989. I was 4 years old then, and that was the time when we used floppy disks to store our data. So that kind of floppy disk is capable of saving about 1 megabyte. That's a small photo on your camera. So if you may take a photo of the sky, then it has maybe about 1 megabyte, I guess. This is a further evolutionary step of floppy disks. It is capable of storing 1.44 megabytes, which is already much more. It's much smaller. Pretty cool stuff. So we saved computer games on these disks, and various computer games had different sizes. Like some computer games came on 10 or 20 disks, or 5 disks, I don't remember exactly. But anyway, that's not me. That's a photo I found on the internet, but that's more or less how how my room looked like when I was a young child, like 9 years or 10 years old. I loved playing video games, and I had a very slow computer, very old computer. And I really enjoyed playing Prince of Persia. I don't know if you know that game. It's quite a cool game where you have to rescue the princess from the palace. She is kind of hijacked by a dark, bad, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't know exactly how to call this, but a bad guy, I think his name is Jafar, and you have to do some very, very dangerous things to rescue this princess, just like jumping over pits and fighting against guards and stuff. It's really dangerous, but you have many lives, so it's okay when you die. That's cool. And I gotta admit that my version was cracked. So I didn't buy the game. I was getting a cracked version by a friend. And a cracked, that means it's possible to play the game without paying for it. Otherwise you need a serial number, but with a cracked version it's possible to not, you don't need a serial number to play it. And what's really cool about cracked video games from the 80s and 90s is that some of them had so-called crack throws. A crack throw is kind of a graffiti tag of the cracker, of the person that just cracked the software. And that is a pretty weird and pretty nice culture that just came to life back then. Let's take a look at a few crack throws from the late 80s. That's what a crack throw is, right? Super, super cool. Out of this cracking scene, and these crack throws, there was the Demoscene evolving. The Demoscene was let's say a movement of creatives, but also programmers who pushed the technical limits of hardware and software and tried to create interesting motion graphics with code, with programming, which is a pretty amazing thing. So here are a few demos of people who created amazing three-dimensional motion graphics. This is the year 1994. It looks a little bit contemporary, I think. Yeah, this is very too fast. I had to speed up the video by the factor 2 because it was much too slow. Anyway, hope the music didn't annoy you too much. This is my favorite demo I've ever seen. This is the most amazing piece of motion graphic I found on the internet. When I saw this, I was completely in love with it. It's the most ugly piece of animation, I would say. It is a proof of bad taste, but of huge knowledge in graphics programming. So what you see here is real magic. Look at these spheres. The whole scene is mirroring in these little bowls, right? You have shadows, you have reflections, you have lighting. This is amazing. This checkerboard. This is so crazy. Physics, right? These things are just, physical forces are influencing the how these boats fly through the air. So we have a custom, they built a custom 3D engine. There's shadows, reflections, physics. Oh my God, this is amazing, right? This is absolutely magical. I watched it 3 hours. It's very meditative. And it's all made with code. So to give you a little, to make you give you the ability to imagine what it means to code something like that. This is not the code of exactly that demo, but it is an example of a demo written with assembly. And this is crazy, right? This is not really readable. It's very, very difficult to read. It's super, super abstract. It's not, this is not how code looks like today. It's a completely different world. Thousands of lines of code. Some of these lines describe images or colors or, I don't know, physics. It's absolutely crazy. I think in the end of this video, there's an array of colors, I think. I don't find it right now, but, well, that was really crazy. Okay, there's an event, so-called demo party called Assembly, and it takes place in Finland since the 90s, I think. And at the Assembly, 1994, and by the way, this is how it looks, right? This is a photo from 2004. Oh, I fear I mix up the numbers here. But this is how a demo party looks like. People build up their computers and they create motion graphics together in this amazing, huge arena. My goodness, this is the nerdiest thing I can imagine. But in 1994, the Future Crew won a prize. There was a competition and the Future Crew won a prize, and they were endorsed by hardware manufacturers for their work Second Reality. Second Reality was a groundbreaking demo, and let's take a look at it. Check this out. Oh wow, there it is again, graffiti culture in the demo scene. Pretty amazing. They put their name, whoops, oh my goodness. They put their name onto the video and made the name a city. Awesome. Well, let's move fast forward to the present. So today is the year 2022, and the question is, what is the role of coding? Or the question I want to answer here is, what is the role of coding in the realms of motion design? Well, as you maybe know, I already told you in the beginning, but I am an educator. I teach creatives to code, to use programming languages to get creative and to expand their horizon, to learn new things, which is pretty amazing. I love doing that. And this is a language called processing. Probably you know it. It's super easy to use compared with other languages. The code is super easy to read, and this makes the whole thing very, very accessible. Well, to explain the potentials, or let's say the special thing about coding in the realms of motion design, it makes sense to look at a statement by Frieder Nake, who is a pioneer of computer art and today is a professor in Bremen, Germany. So he states that computer art has the special feature that it consists of two elements, a subface and a surface. The subface generates the surface, right? So we could translate it to the front side and the back side, or the back side is generating the front side, the back end is generating the front end. The invisible is generating or creating the visible. The algorithm is generating the output, or the process is creating the result, right? So the subface, this is the special thing about it. The subface can express something very, very specific. And it can transform data into graphics, which is pretty fancy. So to explain how that works, I often use the input-output pattern. This is something I've created together with my friend Patrick. And when we explain generative design, we mostly use a mind map that looks like this. So on the left side, you see many possibilities of a data input that you could use to generate a specific output, right? Let's just zoom in and take a look at details here. So you could use a book or a Kinect or a webcam or a joystick, I don't know, geodata like maps or music, anything. right? This is pretty amazing. Like a microphone records something, a temperature sensor, to create a wide range of a wide variety of outputs, like animations and graphics and installations, generative music, texts, architecture, kinetic installations, user interfaces, data visualizations, graphic design systems, whatever, right? So that means this methodology is not really just for motion graphics. It's a methodology that can be applied to any creative field, right? Imagine creating a chair out of your favorite book, or building out of your favorite piece of music, or jewelry out of the dance motion of a belly dancer. I don't know. Or, yeah. That's a slide I can delete later on, I guess. This one too. So that means the subface, and that's another special thing, can, in theory, generate infinite surfaces. That means one algorithm can create many different outputs, like one algorithm creates a poster, and also motion graphics, also architecture, right? It can all be based on one system, and this is special about it. I would like to show you 3 projects that I've created in the past that, let's say, put a spotlight onto this pattern. I've created a database of my life years ago. So I put all the events from my life into a database. I find pretty funny stuff there. My first kiss, but also the election of Barack Obama. So I just separated them into 2 groups. The first one is global events, and the other one is private events, so events that I experience in my personal life. And what I did is I created a timeline out of it. It was a free project. It was really a lot of fun. I learned a lot about myself. So blue, and it's also very quick, so I had to make it shorter to not break the time limit here on this talk, which I probably will do anyway. Surfing through my life. Red is my private experiences, and blue is what happened in the world. It's getting more dense in the end because I'm collecting quite many images right now. Yeah, so this is the input was kind of my life, and the output was a timeline, a 3-dimensional timeline as a video. Pretty nice, right? The second project I want to present you here is the Bach Project, which I created in 2017. It's basically I played piano some years ago. I practiced a lot piano, and I learned this piece by Johann Sebastian Bach, and I used the music of him to generate motion graphics and also static graphics, and created mock-ups out of that to display possibilities of inscening that piece. And this is an example. So each of these elements represents one note in the piece, right? Oh, it's such a beautiful piece. I love it. Bach is magical, really. Bach is absolutely magical. And this piece really is perfect for generative design since the structure is very regular. It's amazing. This is one static visual I created out of it. I mean, imagine this could be staged in a, let's say, for an identity, or in a Bach event, could be part of an architecture. I don't know. You could exhibit the music, or you could use it to put it on the floor in Leipzig, which is not the hometown of Bach, I think, but he was born close to Leipzig. Great, right? All generative design. So these graphics contain the music of Bach, which is magical, I think. The third example I want to show here is La Luz Negra, which I've created together with my good friend Martin Lorenz, also 2018, I think. So he created an identity for an exhibition for black magic in art, and he created this amazing grid of tiles where you could kind of rotate them and create various patterns out of it, also typographic elements, which was pretty amazing. And the question was, can I create a tool to make the whole system interactive, and what kind of potentials lie in there? And then I created a very early prototype. This was the very, very first sketch I created, or the very first prototype I created. this was a proof of concept, right? It showed that it's possible to create a custom tool that in theory could be handed out to anyone to create patterns, which is pretty amazing. And we used that tool or kind of a further version of the tool to create the intro or a promotional video that was displayed on the building as well as on the internet. So it's a custom stop motion software. That was amazing. So you can see a person clicking this grid and creating all these patterns. What I like about it is that the human interaction gets visible. Really cool. And we also created a web application that people could use to create their custom own patterns and download the images. That was pretty much fun. Okay, why is creative coding cool? Well, creative coding is not a tool. It's more a way to think. Right? It's not really a tool like After Effects or Blender or Photoshop, Illustrator, whatever. It's a completely new way of thinking. It's not new, but it's a different way of thinking. It's not a tool, it's a way of thinking. It's a method. It's about designing a system instead of a medium. That means we are not working on a specific thing like a poster or something or a motion graphic, but we are generating or creating a system that is capable or able to generate any kind of media in the end. Based on the system, which is pretty amazing. But the most importantly, and that's something I'm not getting tired of putting it out there. For me, it has a philosophical perspective. You can learn more about that on my website. I'm writing a lot about creative coding and technology in contemporary times. For me, it means unexplored territories. It's a huge universe of possibilities. There's no end. You cannot reach the end. It's amazing, and there are great people in there. In the community. Anyway, that's it. I wish you a great day. Thank you so much and see you soon.